Hello everyone, welcome to JDs League for Tuesday night, 6 p.m. And we're here for a short qualifying 50% race of Austin, Texas USA Grand Prix. And as you can see from the title, we're getting into the hot end of the season. I will at some point pretty much state with the standings, but for the moment, just joining the stream myself and just getting the sharing part of it done into the Discord, and then I'll be with you properly. Red Bull's out first. Right, here we go, just almost finished. There we are. Right, so sharing side of it done. I can concentrate now on what's going on. So let's get the details up. Track that. Yeah, we're definitely on with the driver that was out first, and that's Cam Dog. Turning my laptop off, I've just realised that's on. It's connected to my Wi-Fi, so I just want to get this turned off or put to sleep. There we go. Excellent. Okay, right then, just as Candog crosses the line then start a lap, so that's not bad timing. So, Austin, Texas. Not a lot to say about this track. I don't know why, but drivers seem to dislike this track. I don't know why, honestly. I quite like it. I don't like Sector 1. I think that's the main reason people don't like it, is because of Sector 1. And that's why. Cam Dog with a spin. And that particular corner, if we're honest about it, is an absolute nightmare for it. Andy Gatehouse got through the first sector okay, and heads to the hairpin, which will take us on to the long straight, which is where we're likely to see 90% of the overtaking, I would say, if not more. Candog's still recovering from that spin. He is going again, though. The party, my apologies. Right, yeah, so let's say it doesn't seem to be a particular favourite with the drivers. But actually, every time I start this sentence, a Red Bull spins. And Gatehouse round, who was that? Just had to drive through him, that was Verstappen, wasn't it? Yeah. To be honest, that corner this season on 2022 on this game has been the source of many, many spins. My experience of doing the commentary, which I've done quite a lot of around here. So 34-4 from Verstappen then gets us up and running, underway and going. So we've got, I think the Corsi had invalidated, okay. Danny, 34-101. It is for Danny. See if we can find whoever's next. It's an invalidation for Tank. So perhaps let's go to. Oh, it looks like Ben's had a spin on that right-hander. It's catching a lot of people out. Just to explain quickly, the reason for that is because setup-wise for this track, the best setup, without doubt, runs a higher front wing than it does rear wing. There's no ifs or buts about that. That is the fastest way to have your wings around here. The problem with that is when you go around that corner, it doesn't like it and it drags you into the inside. So to be quite honest, I think you need to lift a little bit, but I don't think that we've seen 2 spins there already, and I don't think they're going to be the last somehow. Who's going to be on pole? It's a good question. Good question, Pav. So I think Danny's probably favourite. Out and out speed, he's the fastest driver on the track, but Ralf Stappen's been in great form recently. And Whoopi's always got a chance, so there are definitely a few drivers. I don't think it's that same strat as I did on Sunday, if you remember. I do, Whoopi, but I won't broadcast it. So, the map showing purple, but as we know, because he's not got a time on the board yet, it's not. That's not necessarily correct. Comes at a penultimate corner into the final corner. It's going to be pretty close, I think, to Danny. I think he might actually go pole. Not quite. Okay, P2, 34.298. I don't think he actually came out the final corner spots on there, Whoopi. But here's Donkey Kong then in the other Ferrari. I tend to call him DK. 35.383, it puts DK into P5. So both Ferraris in top 5 at the moment. Tank has invalidated his next run. Don't think we got anybody else. JD maybe. He's managed to 35.3. That's in P4. Just stick with him. He might be coming into the pits, or he might be heading on round. I'm not into the pits, I'd imagine. Yeah. So it's a late entry into the pits, but he does indeed come into the pits. And so, I don't know if we got anybody else on hot laps at the moment. Tank we know invalidated. So I think actually Andy's probably the right person to be on right at the moment. I'll keep an eye on the leaderboard. But try and get a hilly hot lap in at some point as well. Mr. Whale, take me out like everyone else did. Whoopi did not take you out, Mr. Whale. Mr. Whale is referring to Sunday, where he got taken out a few times. It's a bit of a crybaby about it, to be honest. Still going on about it, and it's Tuesday, so you know, bangs on about it for days, maybe weeks sometimes. So, Andy Gatehouse round the final bend, and a Red Bull will get a lap on the board without spinning. 35.337. So that's DK going into the pits. I think Can Dog's just coming through the final corner. And it goes up to P4. And I think that was Charles Kitchen just ahead of him, who's completed the lap 35.7. And Taylor on a lap, but he's just down at the hairpin. Where's SC? Just coming through penultimate corner now. Into the pits by the looks of it. Okay, let's get back to Ben then. Oh dear, it looks like SC's wheel's broken. Yeah, that's true actually. Well, apparently you were desynced through the race. Not on my screen you weren't, you're fine, but everybody else's, that was their reasons for hitting you, see, so quite explain everything, does it? Ben Taylor then comes through the final corner over the line. 136.9 puts him in P9. Still times to go on the board from Zero Scott, Tank and SC. But, SC needs to do some repair job at the moment on his wheel, so he'll be back shortly. Oh, Danny facing the wrong way. It's never good. Still remains on port at the moment. Verstappen ever so slightly up. And set to 1. It's so important to get a good exit out of that hairpin so you can carry the speed all the way up straight. Pretty much a 10th up, so he's certainly in the region of challenging Whoopi here. Is Whoopi on a lap as well? No, he's on an out lap. Okay. So easy to invalidate in that corner, but hasn't. Across the line comes Verstappen and goes fastest. So provisional pole for Raf. I said he was in good form recently. And showing it again. So, whoopie, I'm just checking. Tank's invalidated. JD is in set to 2, so he might. I think he's on a lap. Unfortunately, I didn't get a split time when I changed to him, so not 100% sure. Right, here we go. What's going on here? Whoopi and Danny both said no to racing tonight because it's Monza. Yeah. But why don't they like Monza? I thought Temple of Speed was one of the most favoured tracks of the game. Nobody reported this incident, but I'm going to give everyone a 10-second time penalty. That's fair enough, Puff. Fair play. Sort them out. I never said you hit me, I said everyone else. Did you want me to give that one out, Pav? So yeah, just a quick reminder. Bribing stewards is not only allowed, but is very much encouraged. So please do, as Whoopi goes fastest, 33.8. I knew I should have been watching the screen. Danny. No, he's going slow. What's he doing? He is into the pits. Okay. That was a big improvement from Whoopi as well. So that's a fast time, 33.8 around here in a qualifying is a really good time. Let's see if Danny can react to that. Have we got anybody on a hot lap at the moment? No. Tank maybe. Hasn't got time on the board at the moment, so could do with. Well, he needs to make a decision actually, because I don't think he's got time to drive all the way round again. So almost lost it there. It's carried on. Yeah, 35.1 puts him into P6, so it's got him up the leaderboard somewhat. But I don't think he's got time to go all the way around pit and get out again. So I think that'll be his only time. Zero Scott and SC leaving it very late. Shell's Kitchen just started a lap. Still haven't done a hilly hot lap, so I think DK is on his way round to start a lap actually. So let's do a hilly hot lap with DK, so we'll ride on board at the final corner, pick up the DRS, open that up and cross the line. Head up to turn 1, which is a reasonably late braking, late apex into turn 1. Probably too late though, to quite make the corner, but through turn 1 nicely. as you can get on the power a little bit if you take that later apex a little bit sooner, which helps you through these tight, twisty corners. Slight lift there. Didn't manage to get through there perfectly, but not the worst I've seen, and he is improving, so which is good. Oh, that's going to invalidate. And into the wall. Don't know why he's going to the wall. Just frustration, I think. At the invalidation. I don't know if that was caused by it's dropped to third gear from one of the corners, and you wouldn't usually take it in third, and I just it was the corner before the invalidation, and you'd normally be in fourth at least for that, so just wonder if he the extra gear that he may have dropped down his set up a bit for him there. Somehow that's not invalidated for Chelsea. I'm just a bit surprised at that. So back up to the same part of the track. So yeah, Chelsea's taking that in third as well, and ended up well off track. So go to next Ben's round. Lots and lots of outlaps going on now. Looks to me, there's Raph, there's Whoopi, so it looks to me like Danny is the furthest round of the guys flying for pole at the moment. Danny then opens up the DRS over the line, and away we go for he's hoping will be a pole position lap. So Bell gets under power, okay. Wasn't perfect, but was okay. As you can see, staying in sixth there, Danny. He's very much someone who likes to stay in a higher gear if possible. And as you can see, it will help with traction, you see. And that is a corner that can use that help. I'm not exactly sure what his split time was. I didn't see it, but around the hairpin then. The usual hairpin, but you've got to take it well, as I say. You've got to carry the speed all the way up the straight. Keeps it over to the right nicely as well. I'm not using the curbs. Don't want to lose some of the curbs, but cut quite a bit of that corner. You're able to do that. Comes through sector 2, just over 3.5 temps up. Would, on that improvement, put him in pole. Into that long leg breaking left-hander. Now the long right-hander, flat out. Should be, but if you're using that higher front wing, you may need an ever so slight lift. But down to the final corner then. Here he comes. It's going to be good enough. 33.466. 6 temps improvement. Fastest lap of the session. He appears to be ahead of Verstappen on track now, so let's go to Whoopi. Zero Scott went into P4. Camdog's just gotten ahead of him now. Whoopi heads to the line, doesn't improve. Verstappen improves and goes into P2. Nips ahead of Whoopi. So that is it. Apart from Scar SC, who nipped up to P9 at the end. So got a time on the board. So it looks like Danny's pole. Verstappen P2. Whoopi in P3. Camdog 4. Zero Scott 5, JD in 6, Tank 7, Andy Gatehouse 8, SC 9, DK in 10, Charles Kitchen in 11, and Ben Taylor will start P12 at the back tonight. But not too bad when the back's only P12. So let's just scroll through those incidents, and just in case they're needed. And we'll head into the race. So, that's not very good. SC still not good. You will, buddy. Okay. I guess you got to make a decision, mate, and whether you feel you can do the race or not. If it's too bad, then retire in the pits, I guess. You don't want to hurt other people's races, but only you know, mate. So. Tank says he's expecting a lot of penalties, or at least from him anyway. And I'm just going to the standings then. Let's let you know who's doing what. So, updated 13th of November, yeah, that's cool, so they're up to date. That's excellent. So, drivers first. Danny currently leads the way on 202. Zero Scott is second on 153. Really close with him and DeCourcy, who's just 7 points behind on 146. Whoopi currently on 97, Verstappen 87, and Seb 83. It's a really close group there, with DK just on 75 as well. Constructors wise, Aston Martin 206 at the top. McLaren currently in P2, 197. Then it's a real fight for P3 at the moment between Alfa Romeo 169 and Red Bull on 160. It's really today, drivers wise, for championship purposes, we're looking at Danny and Zero Scott, and for constructors, we're looking at Aston Martin and McLaren are the main teams to be keeping an eye on as the drivers are out for the formation lap. And get the details up then. So I think you're going to see some different strategies here. So look at the tyres then. So we got Danny and Raf starting on mediums. In fact, let's just do that. So Danny, Raf, Candog, Zero Scott, JD, Andy Gatehouse, SC, DK, all starting on the medium tyres. We've got one hard tyre starter in, not too surprised. Two actually, my apologies. Tank in P7, and not surprisingly really, Ben Taylor in P12, opting to go with a long stint first, starting from the back. So then, the more interestingly, Whoopi and Chel's Kitchen then starting on the soft tyres. Now, my expectation is that at least one of those two will do a two-stop, and I probably think that both of them will. People are thinking, you can't really two-stop on a 50% race. Around here you can. This is one of very few races where the two-stop's competitive, so you'll see what I mean. So obviously that's what we're predicting, but of course there's always the chance that safety cars may completely and utterly ruin that, so let's hope they don't. It's always a chance they will. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of the ones where I need to go on board for the starts. It's not the worst view I've ever had, I've got to be honest, but it's not ideal really looking from behind. So watch. It's going to be the two drivers to really watch off the start here are the two soft guys. So that's Whoopi in P3 and DK in P10. I'm going to suggest let's go on board with the driver here. Off we go. All the lights are out. And nice start. Oh, Raf really went out the inside of Whoopi there, but Whoopi very aware and went for the switchback and got it perfectly. So Whoopi up into P2 then. He's going to look to see if he can get past Danny early doors ideally. But, Danny, we all know the sort of pace he's got. So Chelsea still in P11, so we didn't manage to make up any places, but on the actual start. But we'll see if he can move forward as Raf Staffen has a look at Whoopi there. A little surprisingly, maybe. As I said though, Raf Staffen has really been in really good form recently. I just see him on a Tuesday. I was racing with him on the Thursday as well, so he had a little battle with Candog there. Candog actually nips ahead for just a nanosecond, pretty much. But Raf straight back up into P3, and Danny at the moment 8 tenths up and threatening to get out of that 1 second already as JD gets ahead of Candog. Oh no, Whoopi! Whoopi spun. We had some sort of incident, and down to P11 he's gone. And Taylor nips ahead. What's he doing? Well, we're down to P11 at the moment then. I'm really fighting with Ben here. Ben runs a bit wide there, I think he's going to lose the place, but Whoopi then back into P11 there, but and he's got some catching up to do. Strategy starts coming into your mind now, but I think ultimately you still keep it the same. In 2-stop, whether it's soft medium or soft medium, I suspect it'd be soft medium. That way, hopefully, this way, if he does that, then any drivers he can't actually get past in this soft stint, hopefully he'll be able to jump while making a stop as the 2 Red Bulls going side by side. Oh, yeah, there we go. And Andy Gatehouse up the inside into P5. Candog not really putting up too much fight there. I think that's a... Red Bull are still in the fight, aren't they, actually, in the constructors? They were reasonably high up, so being one of only, I think, 2 constructors, from what I can tell, to have 2 drivers on track. Might be 3 actually. I think Williams might have 2 as well. So I think Red Bull, Ferrari, and Williams have all got 2 drivers on track. Danny sets fastest lap. So we have Danny leading. DRS is enabled. Lap 3. So it's going to make that the long straight, of course, is the DRS zone. You do get a DRS zone on the pit straight as well. You do see some overtakes up there, but as I said, a good 90% I'd imagine come down the long main straight. Right now, Candog will probably be thinking, teammate, do me a favour, stay within a second, I could really use a tow down the straight. There's SC, I think. Had a little moment. He did say in chat, didn't he, that his steering wheel's still struggling, so part of it. So JD then up 3 places into P3 in the McLaren. Zero Scott chasing him. A little look on the outside this time. May try to cut back a little bit, but I think that's more I think he knew he was a bit far away there, and I think that was more a case of saying, sort of letting JD know he's there. Just to letting him know, if I'm a little bit closer next time, I'll be sailing past you. So it doesn't look like on the first attempt. Candog dropped down to P8 in the end. Tank and TK getting ahead of him. So let's go back to Zero Scott. Obviously important for the championship where Zero Scott finishes. Danny, I want to see this championship out, but he's so close to winning it, but he can't always... You've got a set to 1 yellow. Looking down at my map, it's Yes, Tank, unfortunately, from P6 has dropped down, and he has dropped right away down to the back at P12. So we'll stick with this for now. Sarah Scott does look a lot closer to JD if gone board. Oh, he just had a little bit of a bad exit there, Sarah Scott. JD makes his move to break the toe really early. He's now committed to the outside of the next corner, but Sarah Scott not able to get anywhere near him in the end. So there's Andy Gatehouse right on the back of them as well, always lurking, waiting for any little mistakes from these two at the moment. Technically, Andy should, yeah, he's got a good amount of DRS left as Andy. Not as much as JD. JD always very, very good. Yeah, there's JD, 70-odd%. He's always very, very good at looking after his ERS. There's a little touch on the back of Zero Scott as Zero gets the move done into turn 1 this time. And up into P3. The problem, of course, with making your move into turn 1 is if the driver that you overtake manages to stay on the back of you through the whole of the first sector, they're obviously going to go back past you again down the main straight, down the long straight. So JD has stayed pretty close, isn't he? So I think he's going to get a chance. As long as he exits well, he's definitely going to get a chance. In fact, I would say he's got this done. I can't see. Go. Goes to the inside. And that move. He's at the inside, yeah. It's pretty good from JD. He got ahead, so covered off the opportunity for Zero Scott to come back at him by taking a more inside line. And that is JD back into P3, so some nice racing from these two. Andy having a look at Zero Scott, who runs wide. And Andy is up into P4 then. He has picked up a penalty though at some point, which could affect him. So Whoopi and Chell's Kitchen both into the pits. So this is their first scheduled pit stop. Now, watch the gaps. When they come back out on, I believe it's medium tyres. I believe they'll do 2 medium stints. So there you go, as you can see the yellow walled tyres. So battle going on here between SC and Tank. Alpine against Williams. Looks like SC's got that done. Tank just gone a little bit too far away now. So, anyway. Handog at the inside of DK. Handog has a little wobble on the curb on the exit there, but they're giving DK a little bit of hope. It's, he's going to run wide here though, DK, so Handog will now hold that position. And yeah, just to mention, Whoopi, particularly now with Whoopi and Chell's Kitchen, will be on an absolute charge now. They will be taking lumps of time out of the drivers ahead of them, so I'm not sure exactly where Whoopi had gotten back to when he pitted. I don't think he'd gotten too high, so so we'll see how it works in a way. It's a shame we didn't. It's a shame he had the incident earlier on. Oh, and that's Zero Scott. That's important for the championship. Cirrus got off track and was dropped down to P7. Definitely needs to recover from there. He needs to finish higher. So 3 more races after this. The 75 points still on offer after this. So as long as Cirrus Scott scores, the championship will still be alive. But I don't fancy his chances if he scores that low. He needs to really, I would say, certainly needs to be in the top 5 and get double points, I would say. But see how he goes. Whoopi has taken over 3 seconds out of Ben Taylor in the last lap. It's absolutely flying already. But anyway, let's get to Andy Gatehouse, who's on the back of JD still, so still within DRS at the moment. And he has done what I thought, and he's looking after his energy pretty well. Still above 50%. Shooting up now, look. So didn't exactly shoot up, 4%. But yeah, so he's looking after his DRS, which will be helping at some point if he goes for an under or over cut at some point in the pit stops. Then obviously having that extra energy will help him to do that. Just a little bit of a touch on the back of JD there. JD just struggles through those corners. And that is a sector 1, and that is Whoopi round. I think that may have been while trying to get past Ben Taylor. Charles Kitchen ahead of him. Really not. It's one of those races tonight for Whoopi at the moment, isn't it? Just not going his way. Apologies come off that, and Andy Gatehouse has gotten ahead of JD down the straight. Tank gets ahead of SC a bit further down. It's for P8. Still with Andy and JD. They're certainly giving us a bit of entertainment. There is a sector 3 yellow, and that looks like it's Ben Taylor. So whatever happened, that's meant Whoopi spun round. Ben's had a spin now as well. And so Charles Kitchen up into P10, Whoopi into P11, and they can continue on. It is a shame, as I say. It would have been great to see Whoopi trying that strategy and seeing what difference it made come the end, particularly in a no safety car race. That would have been pretty awesome. Obviously way too early to call it a no safety car race yet. We're not even halfway through, so maybe stick with these two because they are the only two at the moment providing us a battle. Although Whoopi, JD just gets out of shape there, a bit of oversteer out of the left-hander. Whoopi has gotten onto the back of Charles Kitchen now, so on the same strategy, remember, exactly the same tyres. So it's a straight battle, and I'm going to go to that one. That little moment from JD has meant he's fallen out of the 1 second. And JD is into the pits, so we are just about in that sort of pit window. It's any time now to the end of lap 13, I would imagine. You might see the medium starters coming in. JD just coming out the pits now, so if you think he's pitted from 4th, and despite any problems early on for these guys. They're not that far behind, considering. Be desperate to get past and get on up the road, but can't do it through the sector. Best. You would think that once he gets to the long straights and opens up the DRS, and he will fly past there, and he can get on with his. He's picked up 3 seconds there, but yeah, you'd think he'd get past on the straights, and opens up DRS then, and let's say that's going to be pretty easy, already done, and up into P10 for Whoopi then. Now he's got 6.5 seconds to make up to SC, so he's still battling. Oh, SC seems to have disappeared in AI, so I assume he's still having wheel issues. Just retired in the pits, unless he's trying to fix it and get back to us. I can't invite him, unfortunately. He's on PC, so I can't do anything about that, I'm afraid. The game doesn't allow me to invite through EA Friends. And, I'm not the only one. Lots of people are affected by that, and they can't actually invite through EA Friends. So I guess Andy Gatehouse has got a decision to make here. So JD pitted last lap, so he's got his tyres up to temperature. He's going to be making time up. So I guess Andy's going to go a bit longer and have the tyre advantage in the second half of the race. There's JD obviously is trying to undercut him. So there's lots of penalties happening. Meanwhile, let's just go to Danny second, shall we? Just to say that Danny's still there. He's driving 7 seconds out in front. And I can say the same for Raf Stappen as well. There's Raf. He's driving 7 seconds ahead of as well of Andy Gatehouse, and we've got Andy obviously P3, Candog, so it's Red Bull P3 and P4 at the moment. DK, the other Ferrari, is in P5. So, we've got one of those scenarios now where we've got no battles going on because everybody's pulled out a bit of a gap, but technically we have, because obviously JD, for example, has pitted, so he is actually battling guys ahead of him. It's just they're not on the same part of the track at the moment. So I'm just looking now as JD goes over the line, and he's well into sector 1. So I'm not sure. It's quite strange here. The pit stop's not as short as you'd think. It's not a long pit stop by any stretch of the imagination, but it's one of the shortest pit lanes in the game. Yet the actual stop isn't one of the quickest because, well, I guess it's because of the pit lane speed limit must be lower. So, and I think that's Ben. Had a bit of a spin. He's going to be in trouble now because he's got Danny just driving through him to lap him. I don't know what's happened to Ben. I know he had a spin which allowed Chels and Whoopi to get past him, but I'm not. He's had another spin. I wonder if he's picked up some damage to his car there, maybe rear wing, side pod damage, something like that. It's causing that. Look, round again. It'll just keep doing that, I'm afraid, Ben. It's the tyres. Well, whether he's got any damage or not, but I think his tyres are well lit up as well. Anyway, into the pits comes Camdog and DK. JD is on his way to the final corner. So here he comes. JD will get ahead of both the Red Bull and the Ferrari. Camdog is going to appear on the right hand side pretty quickly. There he is, just in the background. So he's got to get his tyres up to temperature as well, which is going to take him probably a good 3/4 of a lap around here. that gives us an idea then. Now, Candog was about 3.5, a bit more than that, seconds ahead of Andy. So JD's very... well, that's close, isn't it? He's probably pretty much on top of Andy, I would say, when Andy comes out. But, of course, Andy will have to heat his tyres up, so JD obviously will want to, ideally, get to a point where he wants to be ahead on track. He doesn't want to be having to get past Andy while he's heating his tyres up. Andy clearly is going to have a substantial tyre advantage. So, still no battles appearing at the moment. In fact, the closest we've got at the moment is JD. As Ralf Stappen pits. Is Andy going to follow him? He is indeed. So Andy into the pits as well. And JD into the final corner. And he is on the way out. It's going to be tight. I think JD will nip ahead. He will indeed. But if we can see him, there is Andy. So you can see how close it is. He won't be over the moon to see JD having got the undercut, but he will know full well he's got a good 4-lap advantage on him, tyre-wise, I think. Yeah, it is 4 laps because JD pitted the end of lap 10, so 11, 12, 13. Well, 3 laps then, maybe, actually. That's, in a 50% race, 3 laps is a considerable amount of wear, so quite a significant advantage. JD needs to get past Tank here. He's got to get past him. He has to go for this. He is. So, inside. That would have helped him a little bit. Get the toe away. As Danny pits from the lead. That's not going to change anything. He will come out substantially in the lead still. Just mention that Zero Scott is up into P2 at the moment, but of course hasn't pitted yet. Danny exits the pits. And oh, in fact, Zero Scott pitted, so JD just goes past him there. What about... yeah, Whoopi nips past him as well. Yeah, I mean... not really any way out of this for Whoopi. The pit stop would come the end of lap 17, assuming he's splitting the stint in half, so ideally he just wants a safety car, doesn't he? Whoopi needs a safety car, there's no doubt about that. Let's go to these guys then. As you can see, Andy tyres up to temperature and he's already had the gap to JD. We've got a spin in sets of 1, that's Ben. Oh, let's see. Sorry, I've just seen your messages. Hello, man. Hello. I'm here in chat. I need an invite. Ah, fuck. That is sucks. Did I put already? Can you show tyre graphics? I can. I don't know if you heard me say, mate, but I can't invite. It won't let me invite through EA Friends, I'm afraid, so there's nothing I can do. But yeah, you have pitted. You're on hard tyres. You pitted just 2 laps ago. And Whoopi is in. It's actually a lap earlier than you'd expect. But I suppose he wants an extra lap on these tyres while he's trying to catch people and get up the order. So he's going to exit P10. Got a yellow flag. That's, yeah, it's bent. 1 and 2 laps down now. I think we can definitely assume that Ben has definitely got damage to that car. Oh, as Tank and Andy come together. Oh dear. Not the best moment from those two. Andy was the car behind. To be honest, I wasn't actually aware he was there until we started spinning, but yeah, I'd say 9 times out of 10 the fault is normally with the driver behind, but can't say I could actually see anything from the cockpit of Tank's car, but Tank, it's meaning Tank has to pit, unfortunately. If he picks up another 3 seconds. And Tank puts a set of mediums on. At least he have a nice set of mediums to go the rest of the race, but that'd be disappointing for him. Potential stewards report in there, I would have thought. As allows Whoopi up into P9. And Cam Dog's gotten pretty close to the back of his teammate, and just giving JD a bit of breathing space, but Andy's actually already taken a second out of him. I think that early pit stop ultimately looks like it's going to hurt JD a bit, to be honest. I mean, this is now. What about when he gets to the later part of the race? He's at the point of going too far on these hards, really. So yeah, I think the general strategy from the game is generally to pit around the end of lap 12 if you started on mediums, and so it was only 2 laps early that JD pitted. He pitted at the end of lap 10, but so unfortunately I think it looks like it's going to hurt him come the end of the race. But it will depend on penalties, of course, and with that incident that just occurred, stewards may be asked to look at that. And if they are, it could affect Andy's result. So, once again, I'm not saying he's at fault. I'm just saying that it could affect him. I don't actually know. As Charles Kitchen is in for his second stop, goes to a new set of mediums. So it don't really look like the 2 stops working for Charles, unfortunately. Obviously, you get on a charge now, but it's a significant gap that he's got to make up. I know I've had Charles Kitchen chasing me a few times on track, and he's no slouch. I'll tell you that for sure. He's a good driver, good pace. So, I kind of feel a bit sorry for the top 2 in this race, because we've just not seen them, because they just went out in front and no need to look at them again since then. So Danny now leading Verstappen by 10.3 seconds. Well, Raf in P2 is 8.3 seconds ahead of JD in P3. Andy has got the gap to JD down to 1.7 now, 1.8. So it's coming down pretty steadily. It's only another lap or 2, and he'll be within a DRS of JD. And obviously, it depends on how many penalties they've both picked up. They've both got a penalty, that's for sure. Candog, of course, on the back of them, hasn't. So, right now, Candog potentially could be in with a shout of a podium today, particularly if JD does manage to hold Andy up a bit. JD, I assume, isn't just going to let Andy stroll up onto the back of him and then let him through. He's going to fight it, I would have thought, so no reason he wouldn't. They are racing to the end now. Look, guys, if you want to argue, go and do it in the Discord or DM each other, but please don't do it on my stream. I timed you both out. Just quite frankly, I'm sorry guys, but I know for a fact that kids watch my streams back, and I just don't want people talking like that in the streams, please. So Andy Gatehouse is now within a second of JD. Oh, we've lost Chel's Kitchen. Oh, wow. It looks like he's... Yeah, no, he's retired in the pits by the looks of it. Not sure why he's done that, but... in the pit retirement, and... so, well, obviously, retirement in the pits, it definitely won't cause a safety car, so... And the race then hotting up here between Andy Gatehouse and JD. We'll take a look at the penalties soon. At a moment, I'd like to just see this battle, sort of thinking that they're on the same penalties, so it's a genuine fight for position. I don't want to find out one's got like 6 seconds more and it's just a, you know, it's not really a battle, so we don't want to look just yet. Andy, I think, probably going to prove to be a bit too much this time. Particularly with the fact he's really low on energy, actually, and JD isn't. JD's got 60% battery, so... Getting a bit closer. So, again, I don't think this DRS zone is going to have an opportunity. JD just seems to be able to get away a little bit out of the corner, and that could be because he's got the extra DRS. It's getting a better acceleration out of corners. A little touch on the DRS. Sorry, ERS. Sorry, not DRS. Just allowing to get up to the next gear quicker out of corners. And that is Andy picking up a penalty there. We were on board with it and clearly saw the cut. So Zero Scott, by the way, has gotten ahead of DK. So Zero's up into P6 now. Right. Oh, we've lost Whoopi. Oh, I think it's in the pits as well. It is. So I'm not sure why, but Whoopi retiring in the session, retiring in the pits. Never good to see people retiring in the pits. Wish they didn't. But whatever reason, he's had a tough time out there. Which, fortunately, ruined what could have been a interesting strategy to see play out. But back to the battle for P3. Sandy runs wide. Normally get an invalidation on a time trial lap for running wide there, but whether he got a warning or not, I'm not sure. Move on to lap 23 of 28, 6 laps remaining. And, although Zero's managed to get past DK, DK still within the 1 second of him, so it's not going anywhere in that Ferrari. So, looks very much to me like Andy cut the corner again there. Yeah, there's another penalty. That was 3 warnings racked up pretty quickly for Andy since the last penalty. As Ben comes into the pits. Well, the good news for Ben, I mean, he's just stuck with this and he's just kept on driving around. Well, it's 2 retirements now, so... And actually, thinking about it, SC, of course, got kicked early on, so he's been in AI the whole time. So actually, Ben, keep going, buddy, because you're on for at least P9. If any more retirements do occur, that'll give you that little bit more as well. Really see how hard Andy's trying, and unfortunately he's trying so hard that I think he is picking up warning after warning. Definitely close this time, but we've seen it, haven't we? He just seems to get off the corners quicker, and he's done it again there. And the truth is, Andy just hasn't got the energy. He's now out of energy, so he's got no electric going through that car now at all. And JD at the moment finding this reasonably easy, and this is down to the fact that JD has saved his battery. He's not battered his battery throughout this race. He's just kept on saving it, only using it when absolutely necessary. And now with, well, coming up to just 3 laps to go. For these guys, in a way, the leaders, of course, are on their 3rd lap from the end. So DK's just gotten back past Zero, I think's had a spin. He has. Oh, that's not ideal for him. Puts him down to 7th. Into the pits as well. Looks like a wing change, I would assume. Tank will go past. Steve won't count in a way, so he's only going to lose to 1 place, but so not ideal. P8, 4 points. So Danny's 25, so losing 21 points in total. So the race will definitely still go, or we will definitely still have a championship going into the next race. There's no doubt about that. As, oh no, JD! No, resets the track, JD. That's not good. Just gone back past Andy. How's that occurred then? So, for whatever reason, Camdog's now up into P3. Yeah, personally, I think that was naughty, JD. That was the naughty reset the track. You should penalise yourself for that. To be honest, I don't 100% know the rules in this league as to resetting the track and that, so for all I know, it might actually be allowed, guys. So I'm not gonna warn about that at all. But yeah, still naughty in my eyes. JD's ran wide there, and I think that's going to allow Andy through. But right, we're on lap 26 of 28. Let's go to penalties. And oh goodness me, okay, Andy on 24 seconds. I know I'd seen his name come up a few times. I didn't realise it came up that many times, though. Well, Danny penalty free. Verstappen's got 6 seconds, but he's got the lead that it's not going to affect his P2. Camdog penalty free. Andy Gatehouse then 24 seconds. Couple more penalties and it might disqualify him, so he needs to be a bit careful. JD just a 6 seconds. DK's got 9. Tank only on 3, but not within 6 seconds of DK, so it's not going to help him there. 0 on 6 as well, so not only would he have to catch 11 seconds on Tank to gain an extra place, he'd have to get another 3 seconds up the road. So, who was it that called? Tank, wasn't it? Called that there would be a lot of penalties. He certainly got that right, and mind you, he did say definitely for him as well, and he's only picked up 3, so he's not done too bad in that regard. This Tank. So really, it's just been JD and Andy giving us the entertainment here, really, in this second half of the race, but on the second stint. But ultimately, with Andy having 24 seconds, obviously JD is gonna be victorious in that battle. So, not going to settle just for getting ahead of him on penalties, though. He's going to try and do it on track. And I just went a bit too deep into that corner, which allowed Andy just to nip back up the inside. Oh, I think Danny and Camdog definitely are the top 2 choices for driver of the day. I mean, Raf's been great as well. And if he hadn't have picked up 6 seconds, he'd be in with a shout as well. But Danny's had it a couple of times, so, and he's going to win the race, so he's got the prestige of winning the race. So I think as long as Camdog doesn't pick up a penalty on this last lap or do anything silly like spinning, he's going to be my driver of the day today, I think. Danny onto the straight for the final time. I think we'll watch the leader. Barely seen him at all through the race, the top 2 in 08. So, take this opportunity just to see him a little bit. Let's go on board, watch these final few corners. Scott picks himself up another 3 seconds. It's not going to affect his result. Don't forget Ben Taylor's actually in P9. I see lost connection very early on and has been in AI, so Ben will get moved up for that one. As Danny out the final corner then and wins the USA Grand Prix. Verstappen, the Ferrari, will cross the line in P2. Despite 6 seconds of penalties, he'd still hold on to that P2 spot. And Camdog, P3, penalty-free driver of the day, in my opinion. Right out over Danny. Let's see. I might be giving it to Camdog, but Danny absolutely deserves it as well. Andy Gatehouse will cross the line P4, but 27 seconds of penalties in the end. It's going to drop him down the order. We'll find out where in a moment. JD promoted to P4. Naughty reset to track though, JD. Potentially get penalised for that. DK P5, Tank P6 then. I'll just confirm the rest. I don't know if Andy fell any further. Driver of the day by the game goes to DK, but as comms I overrule that and give driver of the day to Camdog. Danny walks out for the podium. Another dominant victory. So, there we have it. Celebrate the podium. So, Alfa Romeo on the top spot, Ferrari P2, Red Bull P3. Right then, so Danny, Verstappen, Camdog top 3. JD P4, DK 5, Tank 6, Andy Gatehouse, and in the end finished P7 with those 27 seconds of penalties. Zero Scott P8, unfortunately only going to get him 4 points. He did get the fastest lap actually with 1:36.124, so that'll make it up to 5 points, meaning he loses 20 to Danny. But he does keep the championship alive into another week, and SC won't be classified, so Ben, I believe, will be, and will be moved up to P9. There's our results. If we're going to race director and incidents and scroll through, well, there's rather a lot, what it would be, because it includes all the corner cut-in, exceeded track limits, all that stuff, and I think I missed about 1 or 2 at the bottom. There we go. So, well, there we go, guys. That's this week's race in JD's League. Danny pushing ever so closer to driver's title. Just looking in the constructors, Alfa Romeo will have closed the gap a bit on the guys ahead of them. McLaren, though, will have closed the gap on Aston Martin at the top. Red Bull as well, and Ferrari both scoring well tonight, so that will help them. But ultimately, JD, where did he finish P4, didn't he? So he won't. I'm just trying to work it out. I think actually that might put Zero Scott and JD on equal points going into next week in P2. So that'd just be something else to look at. It'd be interesting. Anyway, guys, thank you very much to everybody that's watched live, and thank you to everybody that watches the stream back. I really appreciate it. So does JD, so thank you very much, guys. Just taking a quick look at the calendar, and for next week's race we are at Brazil, Interlagos, so come and join us for that. That'll be round 14 of 16, so just 3 races to go. Anyway, guys, thank you ever so much. Good night. I'll be back on at 8 PM for WAOF1, where we are at Monza, so we're at the Temple of Speed for WAOF1, so please come and join me for that. I'm looking forward to that, and I'll see you then. Other than that, good night, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evenings. Goodbye.